WALN, the Party Channel.
Now, what can follow that song?
Boy, I'll tell you what, Mr. Eugene Pitt had so many songs that should have had a lot more airplay, but didn't. And he is part of an icon in the doo-wop era, an icon in today's era, just as well. And, the versatility of his voice, the versatility of his songs. He did a little up-tempo stuff, but more so known for his backseat window steaming music.
That's our baby boomer.
Well, I'm pretty sure he contributed to the baby boomers.
I'm sure the new ones, yeah.
But anyway, I have him on the phone here, and I'm a little excited. A little nervous, with an icon like this. And I would love to bring on, I'm very humbled and I'm very honored to bring Mr. Eugene Pitt to the Lehigh Valley via the phone. Hello, Gene. Good evening.
How you doing? Did you really say you're nervous?
Well, yeah, I am. 45 years in this business. I've interviewed, Lloyd Price and everybody. But I love your music. I've been trying to get you on my show for about 2 years now, and I finally have. And I'm a little bit nervous, Gene. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a man of your talent, making so many people happy by playing good stuff, and you're nervous.
Well,
I don't understand
that. We'll get to that and why. Have you ever been nervous to go on stage?
Yes, I have. I'm not gonna lie. When I first walked out on stage back in the early '60s, I was so nervous my knees were knocking until I heard people say, "Gene," friends from the neighborhood. Then right then I said, "Well, can't be nervous now. I got to start showing off."
Are you still nervous when you go out to perform yet?
Oh, not now. I can't wait to get out there because I enjoy entertaining for people. When I go out on stage, that's my high. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I never did, but that's my high when I go out on that stage and I can sing for the people and make them happy.
Well, you certainly do. There's no doubt about that. Let us go back in time here. When Mr. Eugene Pitt said to himself, "I think I'm going to be a singer," how did it all start?
Well, I didn't really say that to myself. My father said that to me. He said, "You're going to sing." So he took me and 4 of my sisters and put together a group. We were a gospel group. Then he took my 2 brothers and 2 more of my sisters and made another group. So we had 2 gospel groups in the family, and they were the Pitt gospel singers.
Wow, that was a heck of a group.
That is a bunch there. Wow. And then you moved on to I understand you were part of the Genies at one time.
Well, at the time, yes, me, Claude Johnson, Freddie Jones, Estelle Williams, and Haskell Cleveland. We were the Genies in Brooklyn. So we worked around a lot of the clubs, the Uptown, the Baby Grand, and all that in Brooklyn until Sonny Johnson moved to Long Beach. He moved to Long Beach and he took Freddie Jones along with him. And they started the Genies out there. And that's when they recorded Who's Knocking.
Yeah.
Wow.
I stayed in Brooklyn. I started the Jive 5. Estelle, the other girl for the Genies, she started Jeannie and the Boyfriends.
Wow.
They put out a record, It's Me Knocking.
Oh.
Wow.
I know that.
What was it like singing on the street corners up there in New York?
Well, out on the street corners, that was like putting on a show because you had to impress the girls, So we get out on the corner, we be singing, and looking at the favorite girl that you like, and you trying to impress her along with the rest of them. So that's what it was like on the corner. But we used to look for the hallway because the hallway had that echo, You get in the hallway and that roo rang off the wall and stuff like that. And it just gave you that happy feeling.
What did the older generation think when they went by you guys sitting there and doing your street corner song?
Older people, they always, matter of fact, what we did, we used to get by the subway and catch the people when they're coming home, and we'd be out there singing. They got to stop and look, and that was like putting on a show right there. So I guess that's really where you got a lot of training from, trying to impress people.
When you, it seems like yesterday when you were on the street corners and the older generation went by, they didn't think you were crazy. Like if you had to do that today. There's so much mixed emotion of somebody walking on the street corners up there and watching somebody sing. The mindset is totally different.
Well, yeah. Well, today, I don't think the feeling is in today on the corner.
Exactly.
Back then, there was something new, and there was something being started, and that was, kids getting groups together and really, out there in the world as singers. But today, I don't think it would happen.
I was up in New York, and there was a couple right up by St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it was just two guys, and they were just like playing and singing a little bit, and I looked at them, and I said, I'm looking, even though it was a year ago, I'm looking at a piece of history. Actually, because it would have been the Jive 5, or it could have been, anybody from your era. And I looked at that, and people looked at me, and they just said, well, let's get going. I said, no, I want to watch these guys, because I'm watching a piece of what happened back then.
Well, if I may say something, getting back to what Ned was saying, how, he gets nervous when he talks to you. When I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, back in the day when I was young in the back seat of my 57 Chevy with my girlfriend listening to your songs, by the way, okay? And then who in the world would ever thought that I'd be talking, or, at least...
Well, that's why I'm saying I get nervous, because this guy had some big hits. Yeah. He sold a lot of records. You were out there in the public and everything.
It just seems strange to be talking to. Well, it's an honor when I mean that, and it's great, because, when I was a kid, I'm a couple years younger than you. When I was a kid, like I say, listening to that music in my car with my girlfriend, it just seems strange that I'm sitting here talking and listening to you now.
I have to give thanks to all my friends and all my fans, because they're the ones that put me out there. They put me out there where I wanted to be. I really enjoyed being out there, and every time I do a show, I just love to talk to them. They come up, Gene, how you been? Boom. A lot of entertainers, they want to get dressed and run, boom. I'm not like that. I want to hang out and feel what they feel. Okay. I want to feel how they feel about me. And so far, in the 52 years that I've been on the road, everybody seems to have a little liking in Eugene Pitt.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we go back in time, when My True Story came out on the radio, what did it feel like to you when you turned the radio on, maybe WABC out of New York, and geez, there I am. I'm hearing my song.
Back then, I didn't really hear me on the radio. When we recorded the record and it came out and started making noise, we went on the road. We were on the road traveling with Dick Clark. We did 61 one-nighters. Wow. We was out on the road doing shows at the Uptown Theater in Philadelphia, the Howard Theater in Washington, the Royal in Baltimore, the Apollo Theater in New York. But when I came home, my friends always said, I heard your record on the radio yesterday. I never heard it until one day it came on.
Wow.
And I didn't even play my record in the house.
Really?
No.
Oh, my gosh. I interviewed Mel Carter a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him about, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me was his big, million seller. And he said when he entered the studio, he says, and this he said right on the air, I actually hated the song.
Well, the reason why we recorded it is because Beltone liked the record. When we first went up to Beltone to audition, and we sang about 8 or 9 songs, Les K, and he said, wow, you guys can really sing. He said, do you have any more songs? I said, well, we have a song we don't like. He said, you don't like it? Why? I said, because it's a true story. He said, let me hear it. We sang My True Story. He said, that is a hit.
Wow. Just like that, huh?
Just like that. That's how we got to record My True Story.
Well, you co-wrote that song, correct?
Well, I wrote the song, but you know, back then, all the record companies, they had to put a name on it. Well, Joe Renee was the A&R man for Beltone, so he had to put his name on the record. Oscar Walther, we went to Oscar Walther, who brought us to Beltone. He put his name on the record. But they had no doings in writing it. That was my life story.
Well, you know what? I have been asked this ever since that we acquired the interview with you. I had so many people ask, what is Eugene Pitt's My True Story? And I think right now, if you want to explain to the people what your true story was.
My true story was a true story. It was about a girl, I'm going to give you her name, Phyllis Little, and myself. And we were sweethearts at a young age, going to school every day, and my good friend, Sonny Jones, wound up marrying my girlfriend because she and I had an argument and we broke up. And her mother really didn't care too much for me because I took on the responsibility of everything Phyllis needed, I gave to her. When she wanted new clothes, she and I went shopping together, where we bought clothes to match each other. Her father was crazy about me because he knew that I was the type of guy that would take care of his daughter. But the mother didn't like that, so Phyllis and I, we got into a little disagreement at one time. We had an argument, we broke up. And I thought she was going to come back to me. And later on in the years, I found out she thought I was going to come back to her. And that's how we drifted apart.
Wow. What a story.
And then you wrote about it.
And he sang a song about it.
Song about it, and it's a classic.
And I wound up writing the song, My True Story.
Do you ever, when you sing this song out in public, do you ever still think about that? Because, and here's why I ask you that, because in your PBS special, and then you sang that song, you had such an expression on your face, excuse me, and your delivery of that song, nothing like, very much like the record, but in the end, you gave that baby, baby, baby.
Yeah.
I saw that expression.
When I first started singing that song after I recorded it, yes, it did bring back memories. It brought back a lot of memories where I had to get away from those memories. And I wound up getting over it.
Wow. Well, you know what? I tell you what a great song and what a story. Now everybody in the Lehigh Valley and beyond know the true story now. And then you had so many other hits. These Golden Rings. Was that kind of like a parody or not a parody, but a resemblance of My True Story?
If you notice Jive 5 songs, they were all songs that I lived. My True Story, Never Never, These Golden Rings, What Time Is It? Those are all the songs that I lived.
Whenever
I'd be saying I lived, well, Never Never. We had a recording date. We had no song. I wrote it on the way to the studio.
Oh.
Wow.
Got to the studio, I showed the guys how the song went. We wound up recording. If you ever listen, you'll find a few different recordings of my Never Never because I changed it around so many times in the studio.
Wow. When you were growing up, and your father was starting to tell you you're going to be a singer.
My father sang with the Golden Gate Quartet, the world's greatest gospel singer.
Your father?
Yes.
Wow. Who was your role model back in the day?
My role model back in the day was Sinatra and Nat King Cole.
Wow. Did you ever perform with any of them?
Oh, definitely. I met Nat Cole. I sang with him up in Grossinger's. And I sang with Sinatra in the dressing room when he brought me out to Vegas.
What did it feel like to be singing next to an icon? You know, as
Well,
Nat.
I was nervous.
You were nervous. Okay.
Yes, I can tell you, I was really nervous at that time. And not only that, at that time when I went out to meet Sinatra and be in his concert with him, I met Elvis Presley.
Wow.
That was the first time I met Elvis Presley. And we were sitting there watching Sinatra perform, and he said, I know you. You're Gene Pitt. I said, yeah. And you're Elvis Presley. I said, I have a lot of your records. he laughed.
Wow. Unbelievable.
We kicked it off pretty well.
I'll bet you did. I'll bet you did. So Nat King Cole and those were your role models. And what did your father say as you continued on into your career?
Well, my father thought I was going to be a gospel singer when he was training me and my sisters. I brought the Jive 5 to my father's house for him to teach us harmonies when we were singing gospel songs. He thought we were going to be a gospel group. Then we got out on the corner and we started singing, and all the guys used to say, wow, these guys here can sing. You hear them notes they're singing, you know. But those were those gospel chords that my father had taught us. As a matter of fact, when he taught us to sing, he put one in each corner of the room, one in all four corners, and the lead, me, in the middle of the floor. And he said, now, he gave us a song. We used to sing a song called, Didn't It Rain, Children, Talk About Rain Over. And he used to walk around and make sure everybody had a note that he had gave them, so they'd know their note. Then, as we learned those notes, he used to change us up, and we would have to sing somebody else's note. The reason for that was the case one guy gets sick and he couldn't make the show. You could always switch the harmonies around, and that's the way he trained us.
And that's how you learned the harmony.
Yes.
Wow. Unbelievable. But, did you ever consider doing more gospel?
Oh, that's what we're working on now. We're working on a gospel album, and I'm going to dedicate it to my father.
Wow.
Great.
That I applaud you. I definitely applaud you for that. There's no doubt about it. Of all the places that you performed, where is probably one of your most memorable place to perform?
Well, I would say it was in Pittsburgh, a place called the White Elephant and the Red Rooster. Those were two places that we used to play all the time, and I don't know, the people were so great there. They were so warm. And then we got into a thing where they call the Chitlin Circuit, where we played the Apollo Theater for a week. We played the Uptown Theater for 11 days with Georgie Woods. We played the Howard in Washington. We stayed there 15 days. And the Royal we would play for a week. So we just kept going around and around in those circles until sometime you might pull out and go somewhere else. Then you come back to the Apollo, you know. But that's the way our life was. We used to go out on the road and stay a whole month, 2 months.
In your career, I'm going to throw a name at you, Gladys Knight. Did you ever, in your career, did you ever consider doing a duet? And the reason why I said that, because I was listening to your music today and Gladys Knight at the same time, putting aside, the voices, that she and you would have been such a beautiful duet. Did you ever think of like anybody else, so doing a duet, something like maybe a Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga type thing?
Well, no, but Baby Washington and I did The Time together as a duet.
And you also did a song with Arlene Smith and the Chantels.
Well, the Chantels were in the background. Don't Believe Him, Donna, and Magic Maker, Love Maker. But Gladys, she was my Midwest partner. We'd be on the road together, and Jive was on the show, the Pitt was on the show, Five Stair Steps. I don't know if you remember the Five Stair Steps.
Oh, yeah, I do.
They were on the show. And Gladys, we'd be in there, we used to play Midwest, like spades, Midwest, stuff like that. And Gladys was always my partner. We used to always whoop on her brother Bubba. They used to get so angry, boy.
Now you see, you never mentioned that, and here I was saying Gladys Knight and the Pips, or just playing Gladys Knight, and there you were. So maybe I still have an ear for music yet.
Oh, okay.
But again, I was listening to the two of you today, and I said, "Boy, what a fabulous voices that could really mesh together, and be so popular and so good." As time went on, let's talk about and another song that I totally love that you did. My question to you is, why? Why wasn't more of your songs aired than just My True Story and What Time Is It and things like that? Like Crying Like a Baby.
Cry Like a Baby, Crying Like a Baby. Yeah, that was another favorite of mine. Because, we back then, we used to do a lot of moving and choreography type thing, and Cry Like a Baby was one of those songs that you had to give it to, And I don't know, I took a lot of stuff to Pittsburgh. Porky Chatwood, he was a good friend of mine who passed recently, and he broke the first Jive 5 record. I brought him some records when we first recorded back in 1960. And he called me up and said, "Gene, you got a little hit here." I said, "What do you mean, Pork?" He said, "Yeah, you got a hit." And he broke that record, My True Story. He smashed it, boy, I'm telling you. And he was on the air for 90 years.
Wow.
He was 96 when he passed away.
Joe, yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Wow. Let us go to the year 1964, and a song that many probably don't know that you did. I listened to it today, and I was thrilled with it, called United.
Yes. Well, our manager, Otis Pollard, brought me that song. And he said, "I want you to record this song." Because at that time, he was the manager of the Love Notes. And the Love Notes had put out that song. So he gave it to me, and I put the Jive 5 touch to it, rearranged it, and that's the answer what you have now.
Wow. That was such a great song, and I'm going to be playing these because I really feel that they should have had a lot more airtime, and I was also reading that so many of your peers have said that you are the most underrated rhythm and blues and soul singer that ever was.
Well, I don't know. I don't feel that I'm being underrated. I just feel that I'm being loved by my friends and my fans. That's all I'm worried about.
Well, that's that's the only thing to be worried about. And
Right.
Now let me ask you this: when you go out there and you do all these concerts and the venues, do you see the younger generation coming to watch you? Of course, you get standing ovations, and that's a given because you do deserve that. But do you see younger people coming to the concerts?
Yes, I do. A lot of younger kids are now listening to the music and taking on the music. And when they come to the concert, them the ones I go over and I meet and greet. Because it helps build up their spirit for the music. And they can go and tell their friends, I met so-and-so, you know, and then put them interested in it.
Wow. And well, I ask that a lot, you know, a lot to the others that I do interview with, and of course they all say that the younger generation is coming more to our music, the music that we grew up with, and they're hearing it because, you know, maybe they're, well, I hate to say this, their grandparents or their parents, you know, they listen to this music, and of course, you know, with the radio today, and I do have to applaud Sirius for this, because they do, you know, they have the channels for the 60s and the 50s, and of course, you're on all the time, and I do think that more of the younger generation is listening to our music, your music, and starting to, you know, hey, I've had enough of my music, and it's time to listen to your stuff.
Yeah, because you know what it really is? They're feeling the love in it that we felt in the music. But, you know, all music tells a story. So you listen at it, and you try to figure out what the story is, and that's why you like different songs. The different songs tell you different stories. It gives you a different feeling, and that's probably what they feel.
I had another question. A gentleman emailed me and said if you would ask Gene this question, and I did find one. You did a Christmas song.
Yes, I did.
And he asked me, he said, will he consider doing a full CD of Christmas songs?
Well, I would. That's another thing that I was thinking about. Putting together all the real old Christmas songs and just give them a new flavor.
I think that would be awesome. I really do.
That's what I would like to do.
So your future CDs are going to be a Christmas and a gospel CD.
No, it's going to be gospel. We're working on the gospel now. The Christmas one is the one I was thinking about. But I want to get past this gospel one first.
Is that going to be labeled as Eugene Pitt and the Jive 5, or just Eugene Pitt?
Well, no, this here is going to be the gospel gates.
Okay, all right. I see.
It's not going to be Jive 5 or Eugene Pitt. It's the gospel gates. My father used to sing with the Golden Gate.
Okay.
So we're dedicating this album to him, but we're going to be the gospel gates.
I certainly do hope I get a copy of that, because I will.
Oh, you definitely will.
I will definitely play it.
You will definitely get one.
The other, you did a couple other songs, and one I just played before as well. They called it more Northern Soul and Main Street.
Yeah. When you're walking down Main Street, anywhere you ever it'll be up and down the street. Yeah.
Am I bringing back some memories for you?
Joe Renee, he brought that to me. He wanted me to do that.
Another one of these songs that people, when, you know, I think, and I definitely will play this, People from Another World, 1961. Talk about that one.
That was one of the gimmick songs that I wrote, People from Another World. And Norman Johnson, who was the bass on that, oh boy, this guy, he was one of the original guys with me, and I don't know, just to hear him do it, he would have you in stitches. This guy was so comical. He should have been a comedian.
But you know, we're going to play, and I listened to it, and it's really a good song. I love that song, to be very honest with you. 1965, another song that I kind of like, and I'm going to be playing it. It's called Kiss, Kiss, Kiss. Can you elaborate on that one?
When Kiss, Kiss, Kiss started out, it was the A side. Happy Man was the other side. And it started down in the South with the Happy Man because they wanted a type of dance record. So the people called Leske and told him in the studio that Happy Man was taking off. So Leske had told him to flip the song from Kiss 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 and push Happy Man.
Isn't that, that happens to so many of the groups back then. There were the B-side ended up being the hit.
Right.
And then you had a song called, boy, I like this one, A Bench in the Park.
A Bench in the Park. Yeah, that was a song that Otis Pollard brought to us. That was a big song down in Washington, D.C., because at that time, they hid the key to a Cadillac car under a bench. That's where the people found it, under a bench in the park.
Wow. And then, well, of course, I like this one too. There's so many songs about people turning 16 or so, but you had one called Hey 19.
Hey 19. Yeah, that was another song that we did. Steely Dan wrote the tune. I took and put the Jive 5 arrangement to it and came out with a different groove. And that's the way we did it. Hey 19.
It's really, it's a cool song. I kind of like it. And, these are the songs that, we're going to be playing. And You'll Fall in Love. Boy, another great song.
You Fall in Love. That was a song that I did uptown when I start strumming on my guitar. And I get a little feeling and a little groove. And that was some of the songs like that I came up with. You Fall in Love.
And the girl
on the guitar.
And the Girl with the Wind in Her Hair.
The Girl with the Wind in Her Hair was a song that Casey Spencer and myself collaborated and wrote. And you got it.
The flip side.
Girl with the Wind in Her Hair.
The flip side of My True Story. When I Was Single.
When I was single. Hey, all that's true. When I was single, I had a lot of money.
Well, that's, you saying that, and then you flip it over and play My True Story.
Right.
Kind of meshes together quite well.
Right.
And Baby, You're My Only Love.
Yeah,
that
was with the Ambient Sound album. And those were some good songs that Marty Peacock, he brought to us, and we recorded for Ambient Sound.
Let me ask you this question, and I was looking through all of your pictures, and I see all your, I'm not, I hate to say the word costume, but all your clothes have all kinds of, do you still have any of the original clothes that you sang in?
Original clothes?
Yes, like on the 145, it had just the like JV on there, or the Jive 5, in one of the 45s. And I've never asked anybody, or you're the first person I'm asking. Do you still have some of those clothes, like maybe in a Gene Pitt museum in your home or something like that?
I have all the uniforms we ever wore. I still have them packed away in the shed, all kinds. I gave away a lot of stuff, but I still have all the original stuff that we used.
Can you still fit in them, though, Mr. Pitt? That's the question.
No, I can't fit them.
I don't think you've changed much. I don't think you've changed much.
When they call clothes young, those are young clothes, believe me. Because back then I was young.
And he's a lucky man.
Yeah, he's a lucky man. That's another song that I wrote with the guitar, just playing around on the guitar, and I wrote that.
Now, you said you did the song Donna. And I see here that you also did I guess like an answer to it. Don't Believe Him, Donna.
Don't Believe Him, Donna, right.
And that was done with the Chantels as well.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, this has really, truly been an honor to talk to you tonight here, and
Wait, hold on. The honor is mine now. Hey, I got you on the phone.
well, no. In the 45 years I've been doing this, and I can't even count how many times I've played My True Story, and I'm really upset about the songs that should have been played more, that should have been on the playlist. And over the years, I've seen so many good hits that probably are as good as or better than the big single. But My True Story, that song will never die. That will be there forever.
Exactly.
And
like I have 3 sons and a daughter. My sons, they have all the records on their arm, tattooed. My daughter has My True Story on her chest.
Really? Boy, I'll tell you.
But we have it in our hearts and in our minds. So
Yes.
we're never going to lose it.
Yeah, we'll never lose that. Do any of your children sing?
My what?
Any of your children, do they sing?
Do they sing? No, but don't stop them from trying. Boy, I can't. They get around me, especially my son Lamont. He get around me, Dad. Woo. I said, man, be quiet. No, you're not singing. And he started laughing. But they like to sing, but they can't.
Wow. Do you when it's the holiday time and your family gets together? Do you sing a lot of those songs?
No, that's when they play the records.
Oh, okay. And then they harmonize with the records, I suppose.
Yeah, I have every record that I recorded. Matter of fact, I'm a record collector. I have 365,000 records.
365,000 records?
Yeah, in my shed.
In your
I
shed?
used to lend records to the DJs when they wanted to play them on the air because they couldn't get them.
Oh my gosh, what a collection. Whew.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really
I started collecting records back in 1947.
Wow.
that's a long
So I
time.
understand you have a chat room there, right?
Yes, we do. We have a lot of people.
I don't hear nobody chatting to me.
Well, they're more or less the questions that they have asked me last night on the chat box are some of the questions that I have, remembered, wrote down, and I'm asking you. But oh yeah, they're listening. They're listening. I have one.
Oh, I'd just like to say hello to the chatters.
There you go.
And this is the world famous chat room.
Yeah, it's all over.
Oh, it is, okay.
It's the world famous, and we have some celebrities on as well. I have a younger gentleman who's on one of those hip-hop radio stations up there in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, 98 KRZ, and he is always in our chat room and loves these old songs. Well, I told him, throw on Gene
He's a
Pitt.
hip-hop guy?
Yeah, he is a hip-hop guy because that's what he has to play.
Did you know the Jive 5 recorded a hip-hop record?
No, I didn't know.
It's called Love in the Neighborhood.
Love.
It goes, let me give you a little bit of it. I live up on 129th Street where everybody meets. I was chilling on the corner of my block. My friend started rapping and wouldn't stop. Drew a crowd for miles around. People came to see what was going down. From that day on, we knew we could spread more love in the neighborhood. We got love in our neighborhood. We got love, girl, and it sure feel good. We got love in our neighborhood, just like we got it. Don't you think you should?
I think that
It goes on longer than that, but I'll just give you a little bit of it.
I think that should be a national anthem. We need more love in the whole, what's going on in the world today, we need a little more love.
It's called Love in the Neighborhood.
Yep.
Wow,
Did it back in 95.
I am impressed. There's no doubt about it. You are one. You are.
Yes, we are the voices of Nickelodeon.
Yes, I remember. I did see that, and explain about that to our viewers and listeners.
Well, I did all the bumpers for Nickelodeon for 17 straight years. So, Nick, all that, I wrote it and my group sang it. I started out with the little guy standing in the yard, and he said, "Is your home a Nickelodeon home?" Dad's eating dinner, the dog got his bone. I'll get it, that's the phone. Mom's at the table preparing the food. Everybody's in a very good mood singing Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon, but what's the channel for kids? I don't know. Come on, tell her what it is. Nickelodeon.
I read about that, and I saw that, and I said, geez, I can't believe that. And I'm so glad you brought that up. But, wow, I tell you, you talk about versatility. You certainly do have it, Gene. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
That was another thing that I enjoyed, helping people through the years. You know, I helped a lot of people in the music field. Gloria Gaynor, you remember Gloria Gaynor?
Oh my God, I had her in my studio when I was doing the disco scene at WPXN in Secaucus, New Jersey. And there was a big disco ballroom right down the street. And of course, you know, PXN sponsored it. And after their performance, they would come up to the station, and they would sit in, and Gloria Gaynor, oh God, what a voice that woman has.
Yeah, I trained her.
You did?
Yes, I did. I trained Gloria for 2 straight years, every day. Me and Curtis Blandon, Richard Blandon's brother Curtis, he played the piano, and I kept her on key. For 2 years straight, we rehearsed Gloria, Then we put out Honeybee and I Will Survive, all that stuff.
Well,
she and I are doing a duet. We belong together.
Almost,
on the album.
Almost like Robert and Johnny.
All right.
Well, I tell you what, that you know, you trained her well. There's no doubt about that. And you know, when she sat with me in the studio, what a great lady. I mean, an absolutely fantastic woman. And you know, very, very down to earth. And you know, when I spoke with her, and of course she was, you know, at the other microphone, and she was so easy to talk to. And her music, of course, you know, I Will Survive and all that, you know, some of her biggest hits. But there was just so many in that era, you know, that a lot of the, rock and roll, I should say, or doo-wop, that helped a lot of those performers get started and continue on with their careers as well.
I'm going to shock you with another one.
Oh, well, I'm ready for it.
Bon Jovi.
No!
I took him under my wing and trained him and his boys to sing.
How does something like that happen?
Well, Tony, his Uncle Tony and I used to work together. It was Tony, myself, Miko Monado, and Jay Ellis. We used to run the studio. And Tony told me that his nephew and them, they were getting a group together, and that's how I get to meet with him and train him, and I even took his sister also.
Wow. And Bon Jovi, huh? Phew.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I'm really impressed. You know, do you have any other good surprises?
Well, I would have to keep talking.
Well, you know what?
Up, you know?
Keep on talking, because let me tell you what, the people are interested. So hit me with another surprise.
Another surprise. Okay, who could I pull out the woodwork? Oh, my God.
You got...
Well, I don't know. I have to go back.
You have to go back to that woodwork and open it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Am I hitting you with some questions that you probably were never asked?
Well, some, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, that's what...
That makes it good, because it gives me a chance to really think back, you know, and I like that.
I enjoy doing interviews like this. It's more of, you know, and I hate to even use the word interview. I consider it a chat. And it's just like two old buddies getting together, you know, with a bowl of soup and just sitting there and talking about some of the old days and things like that. You all,
those were good memories, yeah.
another song, which I think was later on. Are You Lonesome Tonight? Do you remember what year you recorded that one?
Are You Lonesome Tonight? I think we did somewhere around 60, what, 67, 68.
That early?
Somewhere. Yes, that was with Marty Peacock also on the Ambient Sound label.
That's right, yes.
On the Ambient Sound label, we had the Harp Tones, we had the Capris, we had the Jive Five, we had Willie Winfield and the Harp Tones, right? And the Mystics and the Rainbows.
Wow.
We were like a traveling show.
And a good one, no doubt about it.
Well, we were family, so, you know, we had fun doing it.
You know, I hate to even ask a question like this, but all the groups, and I'm going to say this, you know, broadly here, all the groups that you guys performed backstage, was it just like a family get-together?
Exactly. You know, I was getting ready to bring that up. But when you do a show, it ain't really the show that you're looking forward to doing. It's meeting all your friends again. You know what I'm saying? Like you come on the show and you got the Mystics, you got the Capris, you got the Cadillacs, you got the Tops, whatever. But it's like a family reunion. Everybody's just drinking and talking, you know, about old times or what happened or when the last time we were together, something happened and, you know, you're bringing it back to their attention and stuff like that. And it's all a good feeling. Then you go out and do your show and you're so happy because you really had all this inspiration from backstage talking to the fellas. Then you go out and do your show and you come back and your day is complete.
I hear you. When I started advertising that you were going to be on my show here on Facebook, a gentleman I know you know, and he gave me a call the other day, and he says, "Hey, Ned," he says, "you're having Eugene Pitt on your show." I said, "Yeah." And I've had him on my show many, many times, and he says, "You know what?" He says, "I have so much respect for that man," and his name, Dominic Saputo.
Oh, that's my man, yeah. Oh, boy, ain't that something? Yeah, well, we'll always be close. Like I said, you know, we have respect for each other, and that's the way it is. When you go to 1 hour shows, all the love. I'm telling you, you can feel the love in the air.
Well, I tell you what, he had nothing but good things all about you, and you know, he said when you talk to him that make sure that I said hello to you from him, and he wishes you the best. He wishes you the best. Lenny Welsh, another gentleman.
Lenny Welsh, okay.
That he checked in. He wrote me an email, and he says, "Wow, Ned, tell Gene Pitt I said hello." And I always called him the Sultan of Smooth, and he says, Eugene Pitt is the Sultan of Smooth.
My man Lenny, we used to travel every day together. Because when we first started another group called the Royal All-Stars, Lenny Welsh was in it. It was Lenny Welsh, myself, we had Randy Silverman, we had Vito Bonsambo,
Oh, yeah.
and Art Luria. We were the Royal All-Stars.
I'll tell you what, that had to be good times. Had to be.
They were all great times, great times.
Are you going to be doing many performances this coming year in 2015?
Well, 2015 is starting to roll in now. I got California, I got Vegas, I got Long Island, and the gigs keep coming in.
What is the? Here's another question I want to ask you real quick here. What was the largest venue you ever played in, as far as thousands upon thousands of people? And I did see you at the Meadowlands in 1991. I'll never forget that.
Right? Yeah, we was at the Meadowlands, but I think the biggest, I would have to say, it was in Pittsburgh at the arena.
Okay.
It was at the arena in Pittsburgh. I think it was like 16,000, something like that.
And that didn't get you nervous?
That was with a Dick Clark tour.
And that didn't get you nervous?
No, I was past the nervousness then. No, the nervousness I left back at the Apollo Theater. Like I said, when I heard somebody say, gee, from my neighborhood, then it kind of eased down, but I was still shaking. But I left the nervousness back then. Other than that, after that, it was all great. It was a great feeling.
Did you ever perform overseas?
With who? Overseas?
Yes.
Well, we went to London, we went to Germany, we went to England, Paris, and I'm looking to go on.
And what was it like to perform, like, say, in Germany? And obviously you didn't sing in German, but what was it like? People still understood the music, though.
Definitely. They understood. They knew the song just like I did. Knew every word. A lot of them did the daggone steps when we was performing and doing the steps. They were doing the same steps. I said, well, where'd they learn these at? So. That's the one. And a friend of mine, Tom Ingram, he's from England, who brought all the shows over in England. He's having us this year. We'll be playing in Vegas at the Gold Coast Theater.
Wow. All righty. Well, Eugene, wow. We certainly did learn a lot tonight.
Absolutely.
And there is no doubt in my mind that your success will continue on in your gospel and hopefully your Christmas. And, we want to wish you all nothing but the best health, a happy new year, and to be safe this year and forever. I want to thank you.
Thank you so very much. And I want to thank you and your help for having me on the show. Could I just say something to the chat people?
Please do.
Mary, I know my good friend Mary. She's my right arm. She's in your chat room. Mm-hmm. And I know if they got anything to chat about, ask Mary, and Mary will tell me, and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
God bless you. Thank you so very much for having me. And I don't know. I don't even want to hang up.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, we can continue on here. I mean, geez, I don't want to shut you off at all. I mean, if you've got a lot more stuff to talk about, let's do it,
Well, hey, you bring it up and I'll answer it.
You have a lot of beeps coming through.
I know we have a lot of beeps coming through, but that's just the way it is, But anyway, it truly, and I'm not saying this because, we're on the radio or on television or anything. I am truly honored to have you on my show, to physically talk to you, because, over the years since when I started in this business in 1969, I played your song, My True Story, through all my years in radio, and ending up again, going back to an oldie station in the 90s, and I even actually got a little. How should I say? I got yelled at about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was doing the overnights at a station called Oldies 99 here in the Lehigh Valley. And one of your songs, These Golden Rings, was not on the playlist. But I figured, oh, what the heck, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, would any of my bosses be listening? Nah. Well, it just so happened that my program director was coming home from New Jersey, and he was, of course, listening to the station. And when I saw the top line light up, and it was in red, I just stood there and I figured, oh boy. And then Joey Mitchell, who was my program director, God rest his soul, he's gone, one of the best program directors I ever worked for. And he said to me, Ned, he says, I know you're an outlaw. And he says, I know that song is not on the playlist. And I said, okay, Joey, am I fired or what? And he says, no. He said, but if you're ever going to play any more songs that are not on our playlist, like you just played, these Golden Rings, he said, do it at 4 o'clock when I'm not listening. So anyway, you got me in trouble, but you know, I said, one day I'll talk to that man, and we'll get it squared away.
Thank you for getting in trouble.
And I did play it. So you did get your quarter cent for me playing it on commercial airwaves.
That's what I'm saying. Thanks for getting in trouble.
Oh, I was bad for that. I was really bad for that. Another song, 2 songs I put together from Shep and the Limelights that I thought my boss wasn't listening, about your daddy and 1,000 Miles Away. And of course, I put the two together. Bingo, bingo, there goes the top line again. And he said, Ned, they're beautiful songs to put together at a record hop when you're slow dancing cheek to cheek. But on radio, I know for a fact those two were not put together.
All right.
So I was an outlaw, but
I'm going to be with Wally Rooker from the Heartbeats. I'm going to be with him March the 14th. He was bringing me into the Doo-Wop Hall of Fame.
Oh, I tell you what, that's an honor. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. You're going to be performing in the New York area soon?
Long Island, we'll be there in April.
I think I'm going to have to take a trip out there.
Okay, no problem.
And we can chat face to face.
Right, okay.
I wanted to talk to you in 1991 when you were at the Meadowlands there, but you had such a crowd around you, and I just...
those are my friends. I got it here. But you could have stepped right on in and been part of that crowd.
Oh, I was.
You don't have to. I try to talk to everybody and let them know, I'm just a normal guy.
You are
Without them, I'm the same normal guy. So,
Do you know how many people over the years that tried to sing My True Story, and I'm one of them? How do you get from that one to the falsetto? I mean, I've even tried that in the shower many times. I've turned the hot water on.
That was easy for me.
I know it's easy for you, but I turned the hot water on and I thought I could get real up there,
Well, I don't know. I guess it's hard for them to sing My True Story because they're just trying to sing the song. I'm trying to tell the story.
And you told it so well. Over a million copies, and whew, wow.
Thank you very much.
And we certainly do appreciate your music. There's no doubt about it. And I am so thankful and I'm so honored to have you here. And my nervousness is gone now. I wasn't, when you called, I was a little, I had a little sweat running down. But I can honestly say now my nervousness talking to you is definitely over as well. And
okay, that's the way I was. You're way off it.
So there you go. know.
Now you'll never be nervous again.
I probably won't. I probably won't. And I'm going to remember those words that you told me, you know, that, hey, it happens. You're going to be a little nervous. But I was told by my mentor back in the day, in 1969, there was a gentleman by the name of Joe Niagara, Philadelphia radio. And he said to me, he said, Ned, before you start your career, I'm going to tell you one thing. And you make sure you listen to this. You can take it for whichever way you wish, but listen to me. And he said to me, Ned, he said, be humble to the stars you will talk to, and be humble to the people that will listen to you. And they'll either make you or they can break you.
He just passed away, too.
Yeah. I've never forgotten those words. And some of the people that I have broken radio, that are on the radio here in the Valley, I've told them the same thing. And you in this business, to be humble is, you know, what I expressed more than anything. I've never said in my whole career, I've never said I had fans. I've always said they're friends, they're listeners. And one thing you will never hear me say, that I have fans, because I just like anybody else, all I am, and I consider myself just a messenger for that true story.
Okay. You say you're familiar with Philadelphia?
Oh, yeah, that's where I kind of got my start in radio.
Okay, so you know the Geeter then, right?
Oh, who doesn't know Jerry Blavitt?
Jerry Blavitt, that's a good friend of mine. Oh, that's family.
Yes, it is. Yes,
the Geeter with the heater.
The Geeter with the heater. Yep. Well, Gene,
Young teenagers.
Yeah. He had a couple of songs that didn't go anywhere, but he was a good messenger.
That's right.
The Discophonic Walk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when that came out, and I said to him, Jerry, he says, hey, shut up, Ned. It's going to be a hit. I said, okay. I said, okay. We'll see about that. And again, Eugene, boy, I'll tell you, I am truly honored to have you on my show. And I've said I've been wanting this interview for a year, maybe 2 years. And I want to thank you and all of our doo-wop friends here that know you're an icon, and you will forever stay that icon in the business.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to say thank you again, Mr. Richards.
All right.
You and your help. And Mary in the chat room, go to sleep.
Yeah. All right.
I'll talk to you later, Mary. I'll call you.
All right. Thank you, Eugene. God bless you. And I hope, I wish you nothing but good health, success, and that's not much more I can say. Be safe.
It was a pleasure, Mr. Pitt. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you in Long Island.
All right.
Take care, my friend.